Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series of Halloween pictures. It is from the Colouring Heaven Halloween special magazine, Polychromos pencils, and these are the designs by Agotapop, and we are going to be doing this crystal ball. Let's come in a bit closer, there we go. There. Now we have an interesting crystal ball design. We have a moon in here, we have some crystals, we have some sort of sticks and leaves and things like that. So I'm going to start actually with these little sticks. I think that's the easiest place to start while I'm sort of thinking about what to do with the rest. I'm going to use a raw umber for these, so a fairly light brown. Just give it a sharpen because it's quite narrow. And I'm just going to block them in again because they're quite narrow. I think we can just block them in. I think they're quite cleverly drawn because they look quite sort of spooky, like bony fingers and things like that, which is rather nice. But of course your imagination might not go like that, if you know, it depends. Right, so just working through these. It's getting close to lunchtime. I stayed in bed too long and then got distracted, so I was hoping to get a little bit more done today so far than I have, but I think I will, I think I'll still be okay to achieve what I planned. I think that's a stick as well, because there isn't one on the other side. We'll be square, aren't we? There we go. Yeah, I think I'll be okay to get it done. What I wanted to get done, but I've been quite ambitious actually today because yeah, I've got quite a few plans in the pipeline, things that I want to get done in advance and things like that. I've been, you know, I've got a few appointments for the next couple of Fridays, so I need to sort of assume that I'm not going to get anything done very much on those days. I will get a little bit done, but you know, not as much as normal. And I've also got a family get together. I think actually no, that's in November. But all these things, you know, take up time, and so I just like to be really organised. And it might sound like I'm worrying and being a bit overly, but actually, as long as I'm all well planned, I feel much more relaxed. So it's all good. It's just a matter of, you know, getting myself on top of things really, and that's fine. Right, there all our sticks, and what that has done is allowed me to see what's going on underneath a little bit more. We have a stand here, and then these 4 crystals inside our crystal ball. So now I can see. We're going to do the leaves. We did a lot of the bluey greens, didn't we, yesterday? And I rather like those for this sort of picture, but I think I'm going to use the pine green. It's still bluey-ish, but it's not quite, it's a slightly different colour, which I think makes it a little bit more interesting for you, not to keep using the same colours all the time, but also it will still work. So I'm taking that all the way to the tip, even though I am going to use another colour, but I'm going to use a much lighter colour, so I want to make sure I've got a bit of this all the way through. I find that's quite useful if you're blending 2 colours that are far away from each other. I mean, you know, one's much lighter than the other. If you take a little bit of the darkest colour all the way through your piece, then it's much easier to blend. Or you don't get like a line where one starts and the other ends, because that doesn't happen. So that's what I do. But you know, you might be better at fading than me, but I'm just going to ignore the fact that bit's turned over. Just colour it the same way. Now I don't know how to colour a crystal ball. have one somewhere. I think it's in here. No, it's not mine anyway. It's my husband's. But I don't know where it is. But I'm going to do something, a mixture of colours that I've never done before. I'm going to use the light phthalo green. As you can see, it's a really different colour, but I think because we've gone all the way to the end with the pine, if I go all the way over it, it will mix up. You don't have to go out for lines. It's just the same for each of them, so I'm probably going a bit fast because there isn't anything to explain. But hopefully you can keep up or pause or whatever. I think whether you need to pause or not will depend on how predictable I am being, partly, but also how fast you are and how heavy-handed you are. Pine green, if you colour very lightly, I'm going to put a little bit in here where this leaf is turned over. Remember I said I was going to ignore it. I'm just going to put a little bit of pine in there where there'd be a bit of a shadow. You don't have to put that in if you don't want to. Now I'm looking at our crystal ball stand, and we've got all sorts of different patterning. We've got circles, we've got wiggly line, things like that. I wasn't really expecting, I was thinking, oh, I'll just do it in grey like silver or something, but actually it looks like it's going to need to be far more interesting than that. So let's have a think. If we do the dots, the little circles, I mean, as if they're gemstones but really quite dark, then we can colour over them with our other colours and it won't matter. I'm wondering whether to go for reds, be really different, because we've been doing a lot of pinks and purples and blues. But I'm just trying, yeah, let's try it. Why not? Let's just be a bit different. So this is our middle cadmium red, and I'm going to fill in all of these. Now I'm going to just do them solid because they're so small, I can't do anything else with them. And what I'm going to try to remember to do is to put a little dot of white on each to make them look a bit shiny, and then hopefully we can have this sort of illusion there, a sort of shiny gemstone. And then we're going to go a little bit lighter red wise, but I'm going to move towards the pink scale of reds, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go with the madder. Here it is. It's brand new, it needs to sharpen. Ooh. Sharpener was stopping, my pencil's rolling down the desk. So the madder, now this is quite a dark colour, so I'm not going to use it over the top of these. I'm going to use it under this wiggly line, but I'm going to try and fade it towards the central point, like I very often do, just to help give it some shape, because this is obviously a rounded item, the stand, the way it's drawn with this curve. So if we make it darker here, it will help to reflect that. And I reckon there might be a line here somewhere, so I'm going to put this colour in here as well, a bit lighter on this middle section here, as if we've got, and then here too. I got paranoid, didn't I? Messed something up. That this was like a crystal, but it's not. So just there, so still a bit lighter in the middle. It's a little bit complicated with all these little twisty branches in the way, but we can do it. And then I'm going to use the pink carmine for my final colour. So again, it can go quite dark if you layer it up like that. I'm going to do this one a bit lighter, but I still want it lighter in the centre. So I'm going to have to just darken it a bit on those edges so that we can still get that effect, or it'll look a bit odd if we don't do it on this particular bit. And our top bit as well in this colour. So our sort of reddish pink base. Now the crystals, well, I was trying to think what to do for those, whether to do them all the same or different, and I think I'm going to use the helioblue reddish and do all of them in this. I want that sort of striking darkness, so I'm just going to start here dark and lighter towards the tip like that, and then we'll do the opposite on this side, so dark at the top and lighter down there. I'm going to sharpen this. It's quite fine work, isn't it? So we seem to be missing a line here, but I'm just going to colour that in like that and ignore it, and then continue up there like that. So I've got a bit of a diagonal line going here, which I think is okay. And then this one I'm going to come down from there and fade it downwards, and this one across from here. So I'm just going to do a sort of random direction and going from a dark to a light like that. We're going to do that through them all with the same colour. You don't have to use the same colour if you want to mix it up a bit. I don't know, I just want this dark striking colour. This is going to fade up to that. What's this siren? My son says whenever he is live streaming there's always sirens. He never notices them any other time. It's not surprising really, is it, that you don't notice it normally, and I'm sure they're just as frequent whenever. You don't hear them at night. In fact, I don't think sirens sound at night. They don't put them on unless it's really necessary. Of course the roads aren't as busy. Now we're going to put some white pen on these so that they look more shiny and things in a bit. It's just getting this pencil down. Now you don't have to exactly follow what I'm doing. You can pick any sort of direction. It's very random. I'm just putting no two same ones next to each other. So that one didn't really fade, did it? And there. So we've done all those. The stars are going to be silver, like all our stars are silver glitter, and I'll choose the dots later. But we do have this sky now. It's night, obviously. We could do it black, like it's really dark. But I feel like I want to do it a bit more magical. I could do a galaxy sky. I think that's the best idea. Okay. Start with a mauve. Let's just start here. It really doesn't matter where you put your colours, where you start, where you end, which colours you use. Just have some areas, this bit's going to be mauve here, of different colour that you fade the edges. You have a dark bit in the middle and you fade the edges. And then you can mix other colours in. There we go. Now I'm going to use a pinkish tone. I'm going to use the middle purple pink. I want quite intense colours because our blue is an intense colour. I'm going to do the moon with, I'm not sure actually, with some pen. Not sure what colour. That's quite a big area of that, isn't it? Put a little bit down here. Now I usually put a bit of blue in a galaxy sky, but I think I'm going to not. Put a bit of pink up there. I'm thinking hard about our ghosts on for tomorrow. What on earth? How do you colour ghosts? Use a bit of manganese violet. So you can see I'm trying to saturate the colour in some areas and not in others. And now I'm just going to fill in the gaps with this. Another siren. Something's going on. There's always something going on, isn't it? Right, it doesn't look particularly tidy. What I'm going to do is go over the whole thing with the light magenta. I want to burnish, blend, fill up all those gaps that I've accidentally left, all that sort of thing. And it will become very much more vibrant. But we should still be able to see the difference between the patches of colour. If you want this lighter, you can go over it in a white, but I decided I wanted it more vibrant rather than going over it in a white. Now, galaxy skies always look a bit better, I think, with lots and lots of white dots on, like stars. It sort of distracts from the bits where I haven't properly blended. But on a small area like this, actually, the blending is a bit easier and it's easier to keep it neater. So, but we've got some dots. We do need to use our dots. Right, stars and dots. Or let's do the white first. Actually, we're going to grab this white pen. Remember, I did say I needed to do some dots on here, but I'm going to just go over this line here. I'm just going to extend it a bit. This line here. Oh, that's nice and messy, isn't it? Try and make it look a little bit neater. I'm going to put another one in there. My pen doesn't want to work. And then remember, I said I was going to put a little dot on these. I could probably do with my smaller nibbed Gellyroll really, but never mind. Now the crystals, keep your white. I'm going to go around the edge of all the crystals, take out all the black lines first. It doesn't have to be completely disappeared, but if it's faded down, it's better, I think. Because completely disappeared is good English. Eliminated, you have to eliminate or erase them all completely. Because you want to see that there are different sections, but it seems to look more shiny and glassy if there isn't a big black line, I think. Anyway, tricks my eye more. Someone's moving around. Thought they might be going for lunch. They're going upstairs, not downstairs. But my husband's fixing someone's computer. I'm really confused that that looks pink. I don't know why, because Polychromos don't bleed into white pen. It could just be that I've smudged a bit. There we go. And what I'm also going to do is put a few dots and lines. If you put some directional lines like that, they're not very visible. It just looks a little bit more like there's some shine and light and things like that going on in it. Now, moon, stars. Right, let's do the silver stars. We know that we're doing those. Number 744. may not show up too much because grey is not that bright. There we go. Now I'm thinking maybe the dots in here are the magic. I'm just going to make this line look a bit neater. Maybe the magic is coming off of the crystal, so I think I want the dots to be, just trying to fill this in, it's wet, I'm ending up taking off more paint than I'm putting on. Come back to that in a minute. The magic maybe is coming off the blue. I'm trying to find the, I've got two blue pens. Yeah, I think this is the darker blue. The number 738. I'm going to use that for all the little dots. I think a white would show up, but I think a blue will show up too. And we haven't done any, we always do our little dots in colour. So I think it makes more sense. You could add some white dots as well if you wish. I'm just going to try and see if I can tidy that up now. Yeah. Come on. Just that little bit. There we go. There. Stop fiddling. You could go around the edge of the crystal ball as well. I think I'm going to do that I want to eliminate this black line, make it look more glassy. All the way around. I'm trying to keep it as neat as I can, but I'm really very messy at doing this sort of thing. Now we have our moon left, and I've got to decide, do I do it blue or clear or silver? I quite want to do it blue, but I'm thinking maybe I'll use the other blue. So this is the 736. I'm trying to go right over the line. I don't want the black line to show. You might prefer to leave it white or just do it in a clear glitter. But I quite like it to stand out. I think it's a big part of the picture. There. Okay, so I think I am done. I'm just checking. Yeah, I think we're done. Let's straighten it up a bit so you can see it without turning your head round to the side. So there's our crystal ball. Now the galaxy sky is quite bright as well. For me, I feel perhaps it would have been better had I done it a bit lighter or put a bit of white on top of it. But we did white on top of the spell book, so I was just trying to do something a little bit different. But thank you for watching. Hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.